Imagine being told you weren't good enough. Imagine being cut from your high school basketball team, told you didn't measure up. For most people, that rejection would end the dream. But for Michael Jordan, it was the spark that lit a fire that would never be extinguished. That setback didn't break him, it fueled him. And from that moment forward, he dedicated himself to becoming not just the best player on the court, but one of the greatest athletes the world has ever seen. Michael Jeffrey Jordan was born on February 17, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York, before his family moved to Wilmington, North Carolina. He grew up in a working-class household with parents who instilled in him discipline, responsibility, and a relentless drive. His father, James, was a mechanic, and his mother, Dolores, worked at a bank. From an early age, Michael showed promise in sports, but he wasn't the biggest or the strongest. In fact, when he tried out for his high school varsity team as a sophomore, he didn't make the cut. Instead, he was placed on the junior varsity squad. For many, this would have been the end. But for Jordan, it became the beginning. He used that rejection as motivation, training harder, pushing his body and refusing to accept failure as final. By the time he reached his senior year, his talent was undeniable. He dominated the court, earning a spot in the prestigious McDonald's All-American Game and attracting the attention of top college programs across the country. In 1981, he accepted a scholarship to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where he would meet the legendary coach Dean Smith. Smith was more than just a coach. He was a mentor who taught Jordan discipline, teamwork, and the fundamentals of leadership. The defining moment came during the 1982 NCAA championship game. With time winding down against Georgetown, a young freshman Jordan received the ball and calmly hit the game-winning shot. That single basket changed everything. It announced his arrival on the national stage and foreshadowed a career filled with clutch performances. From then on, the basketball world knew his name. After 3 years at North Carolina, Jordan declared for the NBA draft in 1984. Selected third overall by the Chicago Bulls, he entered the league with expectations but no guarantees. Yet, from the moment he stepped onto the court, it was clear something extraordinary had arrived. His rookie season was electric. Averaging over 28 points per game, he quickly became the face of the franchise and captured the imagination of fans worldwide. He wasn't just playing basketball, he was redefining it. His hang time, his acrobatics, his ability to glide through the air. It all seemed unreal, as if gravity didn't apply to him. But Jordan's rise wasn't just about natural talent. His work ethic was legendary. Teammates often said he was the first to arrive at practice and the last to leave. He obsessed over every detail of his game, driven by an insatiable hunger to win. He wasn't satisfied with good. He demanded greatness. That attitude translated into relentless dominance on the court, earning him scoring titles, MVP awards, and the reputation of being the most competitive player in the game. Yet while Jordan was conquering the NBA, something even bigger was happening off the court. Something that would forever change the relationship between athletes and business. In 1984, Nike, then a struggling shoe company trying to compete with giants like Adidas and Converse, signed a young rookie named Michael Jordan to an endorsement deal. At the time, no one could have predicted how revolutionary this partnership would become. Nike took a risk, betting big on Jordan, and in return, Jordan embraced the opportunity. Together, they launched the Air Jordan sneaker line, and almost overnight, it became a cultural phenomenon. The first release sold out instantly, and the demand was unlike anything the industry had seen. But it wasn't just about shoes, it was about identity, aspiration, and lifestyle. Wearing Air Jordans wasn't just a fashion statement, it was a declaration. It symbolized excellence, confidence, and the desire to be like Mike. This was more than marketing, it was empire building. The Air Jordan brand didn't just generate billions for Nike, it transformed Michael Jordan into a business powerhouse. He wasn't just endorsing products, he was creating them, attaching his name to something bigger than himself. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, Jordan had become more than an athlete. He was a global icon, a brand, a symbol of success that transcended sports. For of course, his career wasn't without obstacles. In 1993, After leading the Bulls to 3 consecutive championships, tragedy struck when his father was murdered. Devastated, Jordan shocked the world by retiring from basketball at the peak of his career. Seeking to honor his father's dream, he pursued baseball, signing with the Chicago White Sox organization. His baseball career was short-lived and heavily scrutinized, but it revealed something crucial about Jordan: his willingness to challenge himself, to take risks, and to never let fear dictate his choices. In 1995, he made his famous return to the NBA, announcing simply, "I'm back." The basketball world erupted, and so did his dominance. With renewed focus, Jordan led the Bulls to an unprecedented second three-peat, capturing championships in 1996, 1997, and 1998. These years solidified his legacy as the greatest to ever play the game. He retired again in 1999, but returned once more in 2001 for 2 final seasons with the Washington Wizards, demonstrating his undying love for the game. But what makes Michael Jordan's story remarkable is not only his athletic achievements, but how he turned them into enduring wealth and influence. Even after leaving the court for good, his empire continued to grow. The Air Jordan brand became its own juggernaut, generating billions annually and dominating the sneaker market decades after its launch. Jordan's royalties from Nike alone brought in hundreds of millions, making him one of the highest-paid athletes in retirement. His business ventures extended beyond sneakers. Jordan made savvy endorsements with companies like Gatorade, Hanes, and Coca-Cola, each reinforcing his image as the ultimate competitor and cultural icon. But his most significant financial move came in 2010, when he became the majority owner of the Charlotte Hornets, an NBA franchise. At the time, the team wasn't valued highly, but Jordan saw potential. Over the years, as the value of NBA franchises skyrocketed, his ownership stake grew into one of his greatest investments. In 2023, he sold the majority of his stake, a move that pushed his net worth into the billions. This milestone was historic. Michael Jordan became the first athlete in history to achieve billionaire status, proving that his influence extended far beyond the court. He had mastered the art of monetizing greatness, turning his legacy into a business empire that continues to thrive. Today, Jordan lives a life that reflects both luxury and responsibility. He enjoys the fruits of his success, with sprawling estates, private jets, and exclusive memberships in golf clubs. Yet he also invests in philanthropic efforts, donating millions to causes ranging from healthcare to education and racial equality. He understands that his platform is not just about wealth, but about making an impact. Michael Jordan's story is more than just a basketball tale. It is the story of resilience, ambition, and vision. It is about a young man who turned rejection into fuel, who transformed failure into opportunity, and who built an empire from his relentless pursuit of excellence. He showed the world that greatness is not defined by a single moment, but by a lifetime of choices, sacrifices, and the courage to bet on yourself. From a high school kid who was told he wasn't good enough, to a 6-time NBA champion, to a global icon, and finally to a billionaire businessman, Michael Jordan has proven that true legends never fade. They evolve. His empire stands as proof that with talent, determination, and vision, one can transcend sport and leave an everlasting mark on culture, business, and society itself. Michael Jordan is more than a legend. He is living proof that greatness, when paired with vision and perseverance, can build not only championships, but an empire worth billions.